And they will boot it away from right to left. Cole Brantley will kick it here to start things off tonight in this 8-man matchup between two top 5 teams.
You see your starting quarterback out there in the second to last row fielding it, but once again, in 8-man, you see a lot of different things.
Rhodes back deep, awaiting the kick. As Hawk mentioned, Brighton Engel, one of the up men. Little squib kick, right side, going to be fielded nicely there by Trevor Gruby. Gruby goes left side and takes it about 7 yards upfield to the 42-yard line.
Nice getting that ball under control and getting upfield. We saw a couple weeks ago people trying the old pooch kick and EPC deciding to fair catch it until the last time, and then they brought it upfield for a nice little gain. So maybe that got spread around the area. Let's take that up the field instead of fair catch it.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Brighton Engel starts at quarterback. Caleb Rhodes and Alex Flynn in the backfield with him. Receivers left and right, Whitmer and Albright. Snap back goes to Engel, calls his own number, follows the blocking on the right side. He's up across the 45, out to the 47, gain of 5.
That's just what you want to see to keep yourself in front of the sticks on first down, and ends up picking up a nice block from Caleb Rhodes, who ends up being a lead blocker on that quarterback off tackle play.
2nd and 5 from the 47, just underway here. 11:30 left in this first period. WCCI Savannah, your area sports leader. Caden Albright out wide right. Sam Whitmer out to the left. Engel out of the gun, turns, hands it off. Not much doing. Oh, breaking a tackle, though, as Caleb Rhodes that time, as he was able to kind of break free for a second. And then he is brought down short of a first down.
Well, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. First contact made probably about a yard deep in the Wildcats territory, but kept his feet moving, did a couple little spin moves just to get back to the line of scrimmage, and looked like that play took a little time to develop.
No gain, and that is being generous, so it's 3rd and 5. Engel out of the gun with Rhodes next to him. Brighton Engel tries to push it to the outside, and he powers his way for what should be a first down inside Hawk territory, pushed out near the 46.5-yard line.
And once again, we talk about this all the time too, young kids out there. Lean forward, pick up that extra 2 yards if you got a 6-foot frame, and get in this play, it was extremely important. It was a difference between a first down and a 4th down.
So it'll be first down and 10 from the 46. Sollers up over the ball as they go right side. A little bit of daylight left here. Again, if you want the epitome of Joe Davis County, you just look beyond here with the farmland and the rolling hills and the trees. And
only difference is the trees are bare right now instead of yellow and red.
That's right. Kind of brown and forlorn looking, at least for a little while longer. That walk-off makes it 2nd and 21 for the River Ridge Wildcats. Caleb Rhodes out of the Wildcat formation. He took the snap. There was a penalty marker down.
Well, I think we might get a false start here. And there we go. So now River Ridge going to look at the old 2nd down and forever.
That's right. Like they say, a short cab ride.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you just want to pick up your positive yardage on 2nd down. If you're lucky enough to get half of it back, at least you don't have to do something crazy and pick up 25 yards on 3rd down.
And the way your defense is playing, you don't want to put them in a position by forcing something and turning the ball over.
Hey, sometimes punting the ball isn't a bad thing.
Caden Albright out wide right. Dual receivers here to the near side, left side, out of the gun. Empty formation for Engel. And it's 5 more yards again as several players lost track of the snap count and left early.
2 guys were going on 1 and the rest of the team was going on 2. So now it makes a little tougher situation for your offense.
9:49 left here in the half. 14-0 in favor of River Ridge. And now the down and distance, 2nd and 31.
Might be a good time for a quarterback draw here if you can get everybody spread out and get them thinking pass, and you got people turning their backs to the ball and running downfield, and you got an athletic quarterback that's pretty decent at running the ball.
Yeah, because I don't know how many plays you have for 2nd and 31. I don't know how deep the chart goes. They're going to flare it out of the backfield to Rhodes. He's going to make a catch, kind of make a turn on a dime, and he takes it up near the 40. So that little screen pass gains about 5 yards. And Hiawatha did a nice job staying home that time.
Yeah, and good pursuit coming from the backside to end up making that tackle. And, you get your penalty yardage back, I guess, on one of the penalties.
Yeah, there's some good size up front there. You've got Chris Korb, you've got Danny Fisher, also Jacob Smith.
Yeah,
we know him.
he's been playing fullback linebacker so far tonight.
Little fake pitch by Engel on 3rd and long. He takes it up near the 47-yard line, maybe the 48. So he picks up about 6 or 7. Well short of the first down, but that'll give them a little maneuvering room on 4th down.
Yeah, and you're for sure going to boot this away, so it gives you a little more room if nobody jumps off sides here or starts a little early. And it's 8-man. It's not Canadian Football League. You don't get a 10-yard running start.
Cole Brantley's going to drop inside his 20-yard line. Brighton Engel will punt it away. Engel gets the snap. Line drive kick, kind of a wobbler, but it's going to be effective. Brantley's going to pick it up near the 15-yard line, cuts across field, looks to get outside 25-20 or 25-30, 35-40, and he's going to bring it back here out to the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for Hiawatha. Big special teams play there, Hawk.
Yeah, and once again, when there's not a lot of people out here, it's tougher to stay in your lanes, and the cutback is open for big yardage, and that's what he did. He kind of mishandled it at first and ends up cutting that back to the left side of the field for a big game. And we saw that with the opening kickoff in the EPC Galena game a couple of weeks ago, where the ball got mishandled down around the goal line, and Corral ended up picking it up and turned it into about a 45-yard return.
1st and 10 for the Hawks from the 48-yard line. 7:36 left until halftime. 14-0 River Ridge. Handoff to Brantley, and he has a nice run down inside Wildcat territory to the 44-yard line.
Well, and this is a situation, if you're the River Ridge defense, you don't mind a bend but don't break offense or defensive stand here, so you can keep them out of the end zone and keep that big lead that you established in the first half.
14-0 River Ridge with the lead. 7:07 left until intermission. Out wide right is Cole Brantley. Out of the gun is Korb. Matt Korb back to pass. Has a man and makes the connection down. No, incomplete. Cole Brantley, the intended receiver, and one official is marking it at the as a catch. Another one is saying no, it hit the ground. We don't have replay.
Yeah, well, this official on the River Ridge sideline, he was very emphatic about that ball hit the ground, and he was calling it right away as not a catch. And you got to give credit to Albright there to swiping at that ball at the end, and kind of a dangerous pass because number 7, Engel, the quarterback for River Ridge, also playing defensive back, was cutting back across the field. Almost got a hand on it, but once again, Albright doing a good job of knocking that ball down and incomplete pass.
6:49 left until half. 14-0 River Ridge. 3rd down and about 4, I think, for the Hawks, moving from left to right in the 2nd quarter. Snap back to Korb. He's going to roll out, looking, fires it, makes the connection. Complete there to Cole Brantley. Brantley has a 1st down, tossed out of bounds by Caden Albright near the 32-yard line.
That time, Brantley gives him a moment to run the same route, and run a crossing pattern and then cut it off and angle back out to the sidelines and give the quarterback credit for putting that one right on the numbers too, where there's only one guy that's going to catch it, and that's your guy.
1st and 10 for the Hawks at the 32-yard line. 6:44 left here in the second quarter. Corb out of the gun. Jacob Smith, kind of that hybrid back as Brantley goes in motion. They're going to throw it out of the backfield to Brantley. He's going to look to get to the edge. Substantial yardage. Austin Brantley tossed out of bounds near the 22-yard line, and that should be good for 10 and likely a first down, yes.
Yep. Little first down for him, and showing quite a bit of speed there once he secures that ball on the left edge.
Is that kind of the epitome of getting the ball out in space?
Yeah, and that's like a speed option type of situation when you're in the shotgun of the quarterback, just in your hands and out of your hands quick and to your speed guy while he's moving. It's almost like handing off to a guy that's in motion.
So 1st and 10 from the 21, 6:06 left here in the second quarter. 14 zip as Korb calls his own number. Gets a nice block from Smith, and Matt Korb's going to go in 21 yards away. He was able to break a tackle, and then it was nothing but green grass ahead of him.
Yeah, somebody got down low on him, but they got a little too low, didn't wrap their arms up, didn't keep their feet driving, and he does a good job of keeping his feet moving and moves them on in for a score.
Well, we have a ball game again as it's 14-6 with the two-point conversion attempt coming for the Hawks. 5:55 left until halftime.
Well, I was told on my way in by a local legend that they really hurt River Ridge with the passing game last time they played, with the Hawks chucking the ball around a little bit.
Well, this is a big play coming here as River Ridge is one of two on those two-point tries, and it's a pass to Brantley. Brantley makes the catch from Korb, and that is a two-point try. Austin Brantley hauls it in. 5:55 left here in the half. 14-8, River Ridge leads over Hiawatha. We're back in 30 seconds on your area sports leader.
Sullivan's Foods is a family-owned and operated grocery retail business that was started in 1967 by John and June Sullivan. The beliefs and philosophy of Sullivan's remains the same. They contribute their success and growth to two ingredients. One, clean, modern, and pleasant supermarkets filled with quality merchandise at competitively low prices. And two, genuinely warm, friendly, and courteous service. At Sullivan's, they take pride in their facilities and in the fine people who make their supermarkets what they are today. This broadcast brought to you in part by the Mount Carroll Banking Center, Sullivan's Dental Center, Highland Community College, and Savannah Times Journal and Carroll County Mayor Democrat. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Back here at River Ridge, we have a close game now suddenly. 14-8, one possession here. A nice drive, a defining drive for the Hawks of Hiawatha.
Really set up by the big punt return, and now we're going to see what Hiawatha decides to do with their kicking game as they line her up to kick it off.
Cole Brantley to boot it. Little squib kick, angles it right side. It's loose, and it looks like the Cats have it. Nice job coming up to field that one by Trevor Gruby.
There's a little old nine iron sand wedge kind of sort of shot there where hit the ground and had a little backspin. It's kind of spinning around.
So it will be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 42. 5:54 left in the half. We said this a little while ago when it was 14-0 and the Wildcats took over. That was a huge possession for Kirkland Hiawatha. This is a big possession for both sides now.
Right in that last possession, aided by a whole bunch of Wildcats penalties and a big punt return.
Engel out of the shotgun. Hands it off to Caleb Rhodes, and Rhodes is up across the 45, tripped up at the 48-yard line. Gain of about 6, and he was about one step away from another long touchdown.
Yeah, he does a good job of picking his angles and getting upfield quickly at the correct angle to make some maximum yardage. But Kirkland, Hiawatha doing a nice job of tackling, not so much in the first quarter of the game.
Second down, a long 3, short 4 here for the Cats. Engel out of the gun, snap back to him, follows his lead blocker. Flynn has a first down as he's inside the 45, knocked down at the 43-yard line.
That's your linebacker, Jacob Smith, coming in to make that tackle. If he doesn't haul him in, that was going to be a big play, if not a touchdown.
So here the Cats have two things in mind. Keep that clock moving as we have 4:55 left in the first half and score here because Hiawatha will get the second half kickoff. So you don't want to give them a lot of time. Obviously, you want to get points whenever, but
yeah, ideally punch one in, and there's only going to be about 30 seconds left on the clock.
And Hiawatha may start taking a timeout or two. Snap back to Engel, hands it then to Rhodes on the misdirection. Rhodes hit almost immediately, and he is stopped after a short gain.
Yeah, once again, these long developing plays, especially when they're trying to hit the edge with them, a little tougher River Ridge to pick up yardage. Kirkland Hiawatha doing a good job of getting some penetration there on the defensive line and clogging that up.
Chris Korb was one of the main tacklers there, as it'll bring up a second down and 9. 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. 14-8 in favor of River Ridge. Whitmer out wide right. Kind of slot left side is Rhodes. He goes in motion. They hand to Rhodes. He looks to get to the edge. Does so. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Still on his feet and finally brought down inside the 15-yard line.
Austin Brantley, alluded to earlier, quite a bit of speed. Luckily gets in there to make that tackle, or that's going to end up for big yardage, which it did, but could have went in for 6.
33-yard pickup, first and 10 from the 11 for the Wildcats. Moving from right to left in the second quarter.
Yep. You knew that was going to happen. The Kirkland Hiawatha coach was really upset about that last play. I think he saw a holding penalty, or what he thought was a holding penalty on his sideline, and he just didn't stay off the officials, and the official on his sideline said that's enough, and then he kept going, and now he's going to get an unsportsmanlike, and they're going to take half the yardage to the end zone here for the Wildcats.
So it's going to be 1st and 5 from the 6. Is that how you see it there, Hawk?
You're right on there. So I don't know. One of the yard guys dropped his marker, and they're giving him first down and goal from the 6 or 7, it looks like.
They go inside that time as they fake the handoff to Caleb Rhodes. And that did not really fool him as Alex Flynn took that handoff and was stacked up. Good job by that interior line for the Hawks.
And once again, it just seems like anything that's taken a lot of time to develop hasn't worked out well for the Wildcats. Just to get Rhodes in motion and get him the ball so he can get out to the perimeter a little bit quicker seems to be working a lot better for him.
Second down, about 4 from the 5-yard line. Engel out of the gun. Snap back to Engel. Gonna keep it. Flynn's gonna lead block. Engel tries to get to the edge, breaks the tackle, and boy, he pays for it down around the 3-yard line.
Yep, and we're going to get a timeout here.
Timeout. We're trying to pick up who took it here.
Yeah, I think it might have been Kirkland Hiawatha. I wonder if they're trying to get things stabilized here and say, okay, down in this side of the field, these are the things that they like to do. We have got to make sure that they do not punch one in here just before halftime.
1:46 left here until the break. 14-8 in favor of the Wildcats. Third down coming for the Wildcats. (14-8), really a huge sequence here, Hawk.
Yeah, once again, we're not really sure who took that timeout. You would think in this situation with 148 left, it would have been River Ridge to get themselves organized so they're not running around at the last second trying to get plays in and out. But boy, it sure looked like Kirkland and Hiawatha took that time. Once again, if they took it, uh, must have saw something he didn't like that he wanted to get things organized for his defense.
So the ball marked, what, around the 5-yard line?
I think she's right on top of her.
Yep, so 3rd and 4 from the 5. I thought Engel got closer to the goal line, but we're kind of blocked by the River Ridge sideline, and apparently he was brought down around the 5. 3rd and 4 from the 5. And they go left side to Caleb Rhodes, and he's stopped after a gain of a couple. Huge play coming here.
Yeah, doesn't get any bigger than 4th down and goal from the 3 or 4 yard line.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's 4th and 2 from the 3. I mean, they have one of the markers up on the far side.
Yeah, I'm wondering why. Usually both guys set him down. Maybe his hand's frozen to it and doesn't want to let go.
So on 4th down, it's a wildcat for Caleb Rhodes. He takes the snap, gets a lead block from Flynn, looks to get to the edge. He dives ahead, and he's in for the touchdown. Rhodes with his 3rd score of the night, this one from 3 yards away.
Yeah, the old Wildcat's been working for the Wildcats, and he does a nice job of running to the pylon and outrunning the defense to the corner. And even if you get there, that's the hardest tackle in the world to make, is that angle tackle. And he's got enough power when he runs with the ball. He can lean forward and get it over the goal line.
20-8, the Cats increase their lead. 1:20 left here in the half. 2-point try coming. Full house backfield on the 2-point conversion attempt. Snap back to Engel, takes it out of the gut of Rhodes, looks to go right side, and he's tripped up. Good tackle in the open field there by Brantley, stopping him short of the goal line, and the point after attempt no good. That was Cole Brantley with that tackle, Hawk.
Yeah, and boy, that was a nice tackle. Once again, 2-point saves them 2 points. And you know, the way things are going with a lot more scoring than the last time they played, that 2 points might end up big when you get down to the 4th quarter.
1:20 left here in the half. 20-8 in favor of the River Ridge Wildcats. We're back in 30 seconds on WCCI.
Hey DQ fans, this is Andrew. The 2 for $4 Super Snack is here to be your new snack time fuel-up. Conquer the day and every crave by mixing and matching any 2 of your favorite snacks, like a new Twisty Misty and classic pretzel sticks, a cheeseburger and a Coke, or fries and chicken strips. And only for $4? That's pure snack power. Which combo will you try first? Swing by and find Snack-Action today, only at your DQ in Mount Carroll.
This broadcast brought to you in part by First State Bank Shannon Polo, Al's Quality Service, Barnes Realty, the Bacher Auto Group, Brothers Family Restaurant, and Carroll Service Company. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Back here at River Ridge High School, the Cats to kick off. They march down and score 20-8, 1:20 left here in the first half. We just heard that West Central has a 6-0 lead over Polo at the end of 1 down at Polo. Squibber kick on the worm burner. It's loose and finally fielded. Diving on that one was Chris Korb, and that's a live ball.
Yeah, and that's a good decision. Last time they kicked it deep, they ended up giving up some pretty big yardage. So River Ridge says, nope, we're going back to the squibber. The ground's getting a little wet now with some dew, and might as well make it hard for them to pick it up with not too much left here in the first half.
And the sun finally starting to fade away here and darkness taking over, the lights taking effect. Korb throws it out here in the flat. Brantley makes a nice catch, breaks a tackle, goes down the near side, and he couldn't quite stay in bounds. That was a nice job there by Austin Brantley to break a tackle and get pushed out at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, and they just got enough of him to push him outside, but he kept running, and Caden Albright laid a pretty good pop on him here on the sideline. So if you're going to keep running with the ball, man, I'm gonna take a shot.
2nd down and short for the Hawks. 1:12 left here in the half, 20-8 River Ridge. Out wide right is Emmons. They hand it off to Jacob Smith, and he is tripped up after a nice gain of about 6. First down out to the 47-yard line.
And he's got some really quick feet. Nice job by him sliding laterally to miss a couple guys and pick up enough yardage for the first down.
Just inside of a minute time remaining here in the first half. River Ridge leads 20-8. And as Korb takes the snap, we have a penalty marker and they stop play. Oh, it's against the Wildcats?
Well, somebody must have lined up in the neutral zone there trying to get a head start on the snap count.
Keep in mind that the Hawks deferred after the toss, so they get the second half kickoff. So a score here for them would be huge.
The old 2-for-1 possession at the end and beginning of the half.
Like I like to say from my childhood, make it, take it. Oh, Korb's pass over the head of Brantley, and Caden Albright there in coverage.
Jacob Solers once again applying a lot of pressure to the Hiawatha quarterback, and you're seeing somebody bearing down on you. You usually put a little extra mustard on her, and that's what ended up happening there.
36 seconds left in the half. 20-8 River Ridge. 2nd and 5 as Korb will operate out of the out of the shotgun. Smith stands behind him. Roll out right side. Throws it underneath. Ooh, 50-50 ball. It's incomplete. Looking for Austin Brantley.
Boy, you can really tell who his favorite target is when he goes back to Chuck when he's looking for 21 coming underneath the coverage, and well planned route, and put the ball on target. But once again, a River Ridge defender gets his hand in there and makes it tough for him to catch the ball. It gets to the ground, the ball pops out.
Sam Whitmer was there in coverage and did an excellent job. 3rd down and 5 for the Hawks. 30 seconds left here until halftime. WCCI Savannah, your area sports leader. Thursday night action from River Ridge. 8-man football at its best. Korb calls his own number as Brantley went in motion. I'm not sure if that was a set play, but the Wildcats are right there to stop.
Well, an old Kirkland Hiawatha going to take a timeout here, but Darren Winter and we've called Jacob Soler's name quite a bit here. They not fooled at all. Wrapped him up, and I think he only ends up picking up about a yard out of that one.
So it will be the 4th down, 23 seconds left. What do you do, though? I mean, if you turn it over, you're still going to give River Ridge a snap or two.
Right. Well, I think I just leave the ball in my quarterback's hands, and you know, if he picks up a first down, get two plays called here, and of course if he doesn't pick it up, then you got to change of possession. If it's an incomplete pass, it's a change of possession. So I'd rather run the ball here, and you know, you also got that 270-pound fullback back there too. That's been carrying the ball to give it to him, but you know, on the River Ridge sideline, you got to be telling everybody, hey, we don't need an interception right now. Just knock the ball down, and we're going to get the ball close to midfield.
Snap back to Korb. He's going to roll out right, looks underneath, has a man. It is Brantley. That is Austin Brantley, submarined inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. First down. There's that guy again, Austin Brantley. 18 seconds left. The Hawks scrambling here, and they'll clock it. 14 seconds left here in the half.
Well, and you just got to wonder, going back to River Ridge's last possession, if that unsportsmanlike penalty isn't called, you know, that complexion of the game a little bit too, and might take 6 points off the board for River Ridge.
You also wonder what kind of fire it lit under Coach Kenaway's team there.
Yeah, they came up and made some defensive plays, and had it not been such a short field for River Ridge, they would have had a tough time sticking that one in.
2nd and 10 from the 34. Korb back to pass. Rainbows at left side. Looking out there, has a man, and it's batted away by Brighton Engel. Looks like it was Cole Brantley that was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and that's good coverage over the top by your quarterback from the other side, Engel. He's getting back there, takes a deep enough drop, make sure he's the deepest guy on the field, and sticks his hand up just in time to knock that one away. So no chance for the receiver to get it.
8 seconds left until halftime. River Ridge holding on to a 20-8 lead.
Time for the old hook and ladder play or something crazy like that.
Yeah. Well, you wonder if maybe they'll just kind of throw it up for grabs in the end zone, kind of like that one. Matt Korb out of the gun. Smith stands beside him. I believe they have one timeout left, but Korb's going to go back. Going to look down the middle, has a man out there, but he overshoots everybody. It was Austin Brantley coverage.
Well, when you only have 3 receivers, it's kind of tough to get a bunch of people down there on one side. So maybe you run the old bunch package over here to your right or left side and get them all in the same area, just running straight down the field and chuck it up to them.
Well, here's one thing River Ridge has to remember. The half does not end on a defensive penalty, so you certainly don't want to commit any kind of pass interference here.
Yeah, or grab somebody up around 5 or 6 yards off the line of scrimmage, get a defensive holding penalty too.
Yeah, that's right. Jacob Smith's going to go out in the slot now. 4 receivers set. Back to pass Korb. Fake. Now he's going to run. Now he's going to throw underneath for Brantley. It's off his hands out of bounds. Looking for Austin Brantley, and that will be the end of the first half. So at the break, 20-8, the River Ridge Wildcats with the lead here. 9:47 left in the first quarter. Caleb Rhodes scored from 46 yards away on a run. Engel added the 2-point try on the ground, and it was 8-0 in favor of the Cats. With 6:50 left in the first quarter, Caleb Rhodes scored again, this time from 54 yards out. And the run was no good. That made it 14-0 in favor of River Ridge. In the second quarter, with 5:55 left in the period, Matt Korb with a 21-yard pass to Austin Brantley. That made it 20 to, and then Korb to Brantley on the 2-point try. And then Rhodes answered with a 3-yard run with 1:20 left in that first half. That's where we stand at the break, 20-8. Hawk, your thoughts on this first half of football?
Well, if you're River Ridge offensively, you got to keep doing what you're doing. Really, the only thing that stopped you offensively was the penalties on that one possession, and keep the ball in your playmakers' hands. And defensively, if you're River Ridge, you got to know where 21's at, because every time their quarterback's rolling out, he's got eyes on him, and he's going to try to get him the ball out in open space, and he should, because he's a good athlete. You know, if you're Kirkland, Hiawatha, got to make sure that you do something with this first possession. You don't necessarily have to drive it 70, 80 yards and punch her in the end zone, which would be great. But you just got to make sure you possess the ball for a while and don't give it back to River Ridge's successful offense.
Half 20-8, River Ridge leads over Kirkland, Hiawatha. We'll send it back to the WCCI studios to Gentry Lessman, and we'll be back with third quarter action after this extended sports timeout.
Take advantage of Milo and Bieber's Quick Lube, $39.95 out the door for most cars and light trucks. Call for an appointment today at 815-273-3000.
Stick with the best. Stick with Johnson's Processing Plant in Chadwick. Johnson's Processing will custom butcher to your specific order, and they offer you a fine selection of beef and pork, home dressed by the quarters and halves. Take advantage of these low cost. The folks at Johnson's Processing will have it cut, trimmed, and packaged for you in no time at all. The price is right, and the quality is unsurpassed. Forget the rest and stick with the best. Go with Johnson's Processing Plant on Illinois Route 40 in Chadwick. Call 815-684-5183.
It's important to know folks you can trust. Sure, there are a lot of places you can buy a vehicle. However, there are only a few hometown dealerships left with honest local people who'll be there for you when you need them the most. The Baccarado Group is one of those dealerships. And we've been helping our neighbors drive dependable vehicles and save money year after year. Hardworking folks, helping hardworking folks. The Baccarado, your dealer in Freeport, and at BaccaratoGroup.com.
You have one last chance to get to Manny's Pizza for their famous Friday fish fry. That's this Friday, Good Friday. Manny's Pizza in Savannah is there for you, whether it's dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Again, join them for their fish fry this Friday as the Lenten season comes to an end. Manny's Pizza, 211 Main Street in Savannah. Again, dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Call 815-273-4259.
Hi, this is CEO of the Mount Carroll Banking Center. Does your current bank charge you fees for having a personal or business checking account? The Mount Carroll Banking Center never has and never will. We have no minimum balance requirements, no per item fees. When we say free, we mean free. Free personal and business checking the way it should be. Come see us at 410 South Clay Street, where our lobby is always open, and let us show you what it means to partner with a full-service, community-minded bank.
See Accountant Closure for details. Mount Carroll Banking Center and the State Bank of Pearl City. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Good evening. It's Gentry Lessman with your WCCI Weather Center forecast. The rest of tonight will around 20 degrees. We'll have northwest winds traveling 5 miles per hour, calming down later on. Then Friday, sunny skies, highs reaching 54 degrees. South winds traveling 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting winds as high as 25 miles per hour. Then Friday night, mostly clear with a low around 37 and a south wind traveling 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. That will carry over into the southwest on Saturday. Sunny skies, high near 67. Saturday night will be mostly clear with a low around 40. Then on Sunday, sunny skies, highs reaching 72 degrees, partly cloudy Sunday night with a low dropping down to 50 degrees. Monday calls for partly sunny, high near 73. At last check, the Savannah River stage was 12.7 feet. This has been Gentry Lessman with your WCCI Weather Center forecast.
Be more happy for less money? Because the $6 meal deal is ready to be your next flavor time fill-up. It's your choice of a full-sized entree, either a double with cheese or chicken strips, plus a refreshing Coke, fries, and a sundae, all for just $6. And it's available all day long, so whenever the hunger hits, you can start mealing and dealing only at your DQ in Mount Carroll. Happy tastes good.
The folks at Barnes Realty invite you to witness the strength of teamwork and the Barnes team's reputation for results. When you're ready to buy or sell your home, you need the strength of an entire team behind you. Home buying and selling is stressful enough, so it's important you have all the support you need to navigate the process. Call the folks at Barnes Realty today at 866-493-2300 or visit BarnesRealtyInc.com. Barnes Realty, for buyers, for sellers, you.
Your community, your bank.
Hello, this is Donna from Milledgeville State Bank. We've all had to hurry to the bank to deposit a check before they close. It can be nerve-wracking. At Milledgeville State Bank, we've put the power of making a deposit into the palm of your hand. With an internet banking customer, you can download our mobile banking app, which gives you all the flexibility of internet banking on your phone. Plus, it allows you to take a picture of the front and back of your check and deposit the check to your account. Just click and deposit it. No need to stop at the bank. For more information, call the bank and ask for Donna or Scott. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Your community, your bank. Your community, your bank.
You can't afford downtime during harvest. That's why you should look outside the bin and look to FS. When you need the right part fast, no matter what brand, call Carroll Service Company. We have access to a fully stocked parts inventory available across a vast distribution network. Our highly trained grain system specialists can diagnose and make repairs quickly, getting you up and running. Don't let breakdowns stall your harvest progress. Take a look outside your bin. Look to FS. Call the Carroll Service Farm Systems team at 493-2620. That's 493-2620.
The Savannah Thompson State Bank offers the services of a modern financial institution while maintaining the integrity of a community bank where decisions are made locally. The Savannah Thompson State Bank has a history dating back to 1920. Thompson State Bank was originated. In 2002, the Thompson State Bank and the Savannah State Bank merged, changing its name to the Savannah Thompson State Bank. The Savannah Thompson State Bank, with 3 convenient locations in Savannah, Thompson, and Mount Carroll. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
You can't afford downtime during harvest. That's why you should look outside the bin and look to FS. When you need the right part fast, no matter what brand, call Carroll Service Company. We have access to a fully stocked parts inventory available across a vast distribution network. Our highly trained grain system specialists can diagnose and make repairs quickly, getting you up and running. Don't let breakdown stall your harvest progress. Take a look look to FS. Call the Carroll Service Farm Systems team at 493-2620. That's 493-2620.
Brothers Inn Family Restaurant off Route 64 in Lanark is open every day from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Stop by anytime and enjoy homemade food with their fresh daily soups and specials in a family environment. Check out their senior menu, and you can order their awesome breakfast all day long. Brothers Inn Family Restaurant in Lanark, homemade food, family setting. Put a big smile on your car with help from Al's Quality Service, your AC Delco Repair Center in Shannon. Al's will tune it up, repair your exhaust, and work on your radiator. Front-end alignments, too, and Al's Quality Service uses quality AC Delco products, including original equipment parts and air conditioning components. Quick, friendly service and affordable prices. That's Al's Quality Service, your AC Delco Repair Center in Shannon. When is a bank more than a bank? When it helps with your financial goals and your community ones. When is a bank more than a bank? When it stands for you, with team members ready to answer everyday questions, the latest technology that makes banking more convenient. TBK stands for helping the people and businesses in our communities succeed. Visit tb.com. TBK Bank, FSB, member FDIC.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brian Shook. Police are releasing the identity of the suspect in yesterday's mass shooting in Orange, California. They say 44-year-old Amenidab Gonzalez is responsible for shooting 5 people at a business complex there. They say he had business and personal connections to the victims, and it was not a random act. 4 people were killed in the attack. The paramedic dispatched to the scene of George Floyd's arrest says he didn't see Floyd breathe or move when he first arrived. In day 4 of the trial, a former Minneapolis cop, Derek Chauvin, paramedic Seth Bravender said when he and his partner first arrived, he saw officers on top of Floyd, and he thought there may have been an ongoing struggle.
He was unresponsive and wasn't holding his head up or anything like that.
Bravender soon established Floyd was in cardiac arrest, meaning the victim is not breathing, has no pulse, and their heart has stopped. Chauvin's accused of killing Floyd last year by kneeling on his neck for about 9 minutes. House Republicans want more information into an apparent probe of suspicious tours before the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Some Democrats have alleged there were some shady Republican tours with possible rioters before the Capitol was overrun. 30% of Americans have received at least 1 dose of the coronavirus vaccine. Matt Mattinson has more.
That's according to the latest numbers from the CDC on Thursday, which equals to nearly 100 million people. Nearly 17% have been fully vaccinated against the virus. The U.S. has also hit a record high 7-day average of roughly 2.9 million shots per day. A total of more than 153 million doses have been administered so far.
Elon Musk and SpaceX are causing a jump in home sales in the Rio Grande Valley. One realtor says there have been people scooping up homes after only virtual tours so they can move to Texas from out of state. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Hey, Denise, thanks, Shannon Polo, Lake Carroll, Florida Slam Dunk. No, Marcy, I didn't hear that. Just like the area athletes, we drove it down the lane with remote deposit, took a shot, and bam, our customers can deposit checks into their bank account anytime from anywhere on the court. That's simple.
That's great, Marcy. I can't wait to score with my First State Bank Shannon Polo Lake Carroll account. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Put a big smile on your car with help from Al's Quality Service, your AC Delco Repair Center in Shannon. Al's will tune it up, repair your exhaust, and work on your radiator. front-end alignments too, and Al's Quality Service uses quality AC Delco products, including batteries, alternators, GM original equipment parts, and air conditioning components. Quick, friendly service and affordable prices. That's Al's Quality Service, your AC Delco Repair Center in Shannon.
This broadcast brought to you in part by Apple River State Bank, the Bauer Group Agency, Casey's General Store, McKenna Flooring, and Country Financial. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Welcome back here to River Ridge High School. I'm Brian Roosh alongside Steve Hawkinson. Our board operator tonight is Gentry Lessman at the WCCI studios. 20-8 River Ridge here at the break. And as we start the second half, this opening possession for the Kirkland Hiawatha Hawks is going to be huge for both sides. Hiawatha climbed back into it at 14-8, gave up a late touchdown, then kind of stalled out in River Ridge territory. They're down 2 scores. That's not a ton in 8-man football, but they really need to kind of set the tone with this opening drive of the third quarter.
Well, and yeah, most of the time in 8-man football, it's a low score, but the way that the River Edge defense has been playing, yardage has been kind of tough to come by. And once again, when you got an athlete out there one-on-one with the speed that a couple of these guys from Kirkland have, you could break it open. But so far, River Edge has done a nice job. I fully expect River Ridge to come out and squibber kick this kickoff on the ground because it's getting a little wetter out there and a little tougher to handle the ball and keep them deep. And if you're River Ridge, this is where you want your 3 and out. If you're going to get one all night, this is the time for it.
Well, and you talk about kind of a tale of two halves condition-wise. It's a little bit colder than it was to start the night. It's dark. This feels like a high school football night.
Right, it's a little bit colder. The ground's a little bit harder and a little more slippery from the dew rolling in. So, footing's probably going to end up being a problem a little as we move in throughout the second half.
Well, we saw some tendencies in that first half, and I think it's one of those situations, especially when you're meeting for the third time in 2 weeks, where you're trying to come up with something unique and kind of fool the other side, but that's very difficult in this situation.
Yeah, when only 3 or 4 guys are handling the ball. Yeah, I mean, once again, if you're River Ridge, when they get the ball back, stick with your running game. Been doing a nice job of picking angles to get upfield, and Rhodes and Ingles have been doing a real good. Ingles been doing a good job of carrying the ball, picking the right little slant situations, and using their speed to get upfield and get some big yardage. And your River Ridge defense, you got to know where 21 is at all times because they're running speed sweeps with him, bringing him in motion, handing the ball off to him, and getting him the ball out here. One time they ran a little bubble screen type of play to him that picked up some pretty good yardage, and he does a good job on the crossing routes, picking good angles to get open. So you have to make sure you know where he's at, and then you got the big man in the backfield you've got to account for too, and especially when it comes down to short yardage situations.
Well, the decision was made at the coin toss by Hiawatha to kind of say, hey, we won the toss. We want to put our defense out there. River Ridge scored on that first possession. So if they don't score here in this third quarter, then that decision probably was not a good one.
Yeah, and so far, yeah, it kind of backfired on them on the first possession, but then they settled down after that. And there's every once in a while you get a team that responds to getting punched in the mouth, and they did a little bit here, especially about the beginning of the second quarter. And I remember back in 2014 seeing that one that won a state title. It seemed like they didn't start playing until they got down by 12 or 14 points.
Yeah, I believe that they were down 20-6 at one of those games against Fieldcrest and came back in that second half, right?
Yeah, I think they were down by 2 touchdowns to Taylor Ridge Rock Ridge too, and it just seemed like, all right, now it's time to kick it into second and third gear, and they did it, and that's kind of what the defense for Kirkland Hiawatha did here in the whole second quarter.
Well, we'll see what the coaches have done here as far as halftime adjustments as Brighton Ingle will kick off. Corb back deep, a couple of Brantleys back there as well.
Well, if I'm them, I'm going to squibber this baby to the right. I'm not going to kick it at 21. He's in the second row here on the left side of the field. So I'm going to kick this baby to the right on the ground if I'm River Ridge.
That's Austin Brantley, and he has shown his speed here tonight. Ingle to boot it away. It's that squibber. Jacob Smith falls on it at the 45, and the Hawks will have pretty good position here to start, field position at their own 45-yard line.
Well, that was a good job for him knocking that ball down, then jumping on top of it before it got to the second level of their kick return team.
Caleb Rhodes has over 100 yards rushing tonight and 3 scores. And a big possession here for the Hawks, moving from left to right. They're in the road whites, white jerseys, white pants, gold helmets, blue and gold trim. Corb out of the gun, takes the snap, hands it off to Brantley. Brantley submarined at the 45-yard line. It was a nice tackle there by Trevor Gruby. Open field tackle there, Hawk.
Yeah, really good job of getting down around his thigh pads and bringing him down, wrapping him up so he couldn't go anywhere. And once again, once he hits that perimeter, he's got a lot of speed. So good thing they corralled him before he got moving.
Corb out of the gun, 2nd and 10. Hands it off to Jacob Smith. Smith hit at the line. Boy, he just pushes his way and carries tacklers out near midfield, gain of about 5 yards. That was just a good individual effort there by Smith.
You want to stay away from hitting him anywhere around the chest area or higher. You want to make sure you get your pads low and get down around his waist and once again his thighs and knees and wrap him up. Otherwise, he's going to drag you for a couple yards.
It's kind of like when your uncle came over as a kid and all of your friends and you tackled him and he just kind of drug you around the yard. That was what that looked like. Corb on the keeper on the option play, and he tries the left side. He's able to lean forward for a couple, but he's 2 yards short of the first down at least.
Well, we're going to have an interesting situation here for Kirkland Hiawatha. They got 4th and about 2, and do you come up and give the old hard count and try to get them to jump and get the automatic first? Do you boot them deep and trust your defense, or do you give it to the big man and let him fall forward for 2 yards?
So 4th and 2 from the 47, about maybe a good 2 yards. Smith's in the backfield with him, 10-15 left in the third, 20-8 River Ridge. Corbin Brantley in the backfield. Corb's going to call his own number. He's going to run into traffic. Oh, he's going to be close as he backs his way, but it looks like he's just short of the first down.
Well, and he fell on his back. If he can squirm out of that and just turn a little bit more forward, he ends up picking up that first down. But, man, it's about a football away from it, and we had a great view of where he fell down with the ball in his hands. So great mark by the officials, and River Ridge what they needed to do, 3 and out. Now it's their ball.
Andrew Pratt, among others, making that stop. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Near side here is Caden Albright out wide left. Out of the gun. Snap back to him, going to call his own number. Flynn with the lead block, and Ingles able to spin his way inside midfield. Picks up about 6 yards to the 48-yard line in Hawk territory.
Yeah, and that's just what you're looking for on first down. Now you're ahead of the chains and run a couple more plays for a couple of yards, and you keep the chains moving, keep that clock moving, keep the ball in your hands so the other team can't score when you got it in your hands.
9:35 and counting here in period 3, 20-8 River Ridge. Whitmer out wide right. Slot left side is Rose. Ingle out of the gun, looking to the sideline. Takes the snap, keeps it, follows Flynn, gets to the 45 and brought down at the 43-yard line as he's able to pick up about 7 yards for a first down.
And once again, doing a really good job of picking the angle that's going to pick him up as 4 or 5 yards. You don't need to dance around out there and try to turn it into a 30, 40-yard play. Get your first down. There'll be plenty of other opportunities to make big plays.
8:58 and counting here in the third. River Ridge out in front, 20-8, and they're marching again from the 43 in Hiawatha territory off the left hash. Snap back to Engel, hands it off to Rhodes, and Rhodes is going to be hit. One of his shortest gains of the night there.
Yeah, and they're doing a little cross buck action there. Once again, taking a little bit too much time, and once again got great penetration from the Hawks, and once again lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. And looking out here at this Kirkland Hiawatha team, it kind of looks like Navy in those uniforms out there.
Yeah, it sure does, and I need to correct myself there. That was Alex Flynn on that little misdirection. He was able to pick up about half a yard. So, pardon me, Rhodes is in the slot right side. Out of the gun on second down and 10 is Engel. Engel, little misdirection to Rhodes, gets to the edge, 40, 35, 30, foot race. He's going to go down the near side, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. 43 yards away, fourth score of the night for Caleb Rhodes.
Well, and there you go. You get everybody leaning to the right with your quarterback that's made some big plays, and give him a little outside handoff off the hip. Once again, he's moving, so he's got a head of steam picked up, and he's already got her in second gear. By the time he got to do is hit the corner, and had a couple guys out here throw a couple nice blocks for him and seal off the defender so he could take it in for the touchdown.
26-8 in favor of the Wildcats, pending the 2-point tries. We have 7:45 left in this third period. Rhodes will operate out of the Wildcat for the Wildcats. Snap back to him. Follows the block from Flynn, but he's going to be submarined and brought down short of the goal line. Jacob Smith was there. Brantley also there. Austin Brantley. And the point after try no good. 7:45 left here in the third quarter. River Ridge expands its lead. 26-8. The Wildcats with the lead. That's 26-8. We're back in 30 seconds on WCCI.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
See the Bauer Group Agency in Stockton today, or visit them online at BauerAgencyInc.com. This broadcast brought to you in part by the Exchange State Bank, the Elizabeth Garage, Fawn Valley Estates, Full Throttle Power Sports, and Hornet Southside Bar and Grill. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Big drive there and a big finish for the Wildcats. A 43-yard touchdown run by Caleb Rhodes. His fourth score of the night. Runs a 46-50. Really adding up the yardage here, Hawk.
Unofficially, I've got him at right around 200.
Little squib kick taken by one of the up men, and nice return out to the 43-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Hiawatha, but they've got their work cut out for them as that one was brought back by Chris Korb.
I think the most impressive thing about that kick is the tee went about 12 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw the football go just a little bit further than the tee, so that was one of those chip shots where you got a chunk of grass and the ball, I guess. Well, Hiawatha now really kind of needs to move the ball. 7:41 left here. Back to pass Korb. Looks across the middle. Picked away by Brighton Engel. River Ridge with a turnover here. They have it 1st and 10 at the 48. Engel stepped right in the path of that pass. Well read that time by Brighton Engel.
Yeah, quarterback ends up hanging on to her just a little too long, and that time they used Austin Brantley as a little decoy. He was coming out for that little bubble screen out here on the right side, and then they ran with their two receivers, ran a little crossing route, and once again, Engel doing a great job of diagnosing that and reading the quarterback's eyes and getting the pick.
Now the Cats up 26-8 can start grounding and pounding here.
Well, you definitely got to keep that ball in the hands of your two playmakers that have been making big plays all night.
Rhodes goes in motion, handoff to Flynn on the inside. And not much doing as Flynn hit right near the line of scrimmage and thrown back.
Yeah, and Kirkland Hiawatha has a definite size advantage up front, and they are getting a lot of penetration on every play. And once again, I've got to go back to the staying away from anything that takes a little extra time. I'd like to see that motion and then the ball get handed off there instead of that little fake that they're using with the crossbuck action.
Austin Brantley with another tackle there. 2nd and 10, 6:55 left here in the third. River Ridge out in front 26-8. Engel out of the gun, and a penalty marker flies prior to the snap.
Well, the right guard wanted to get a little head start, and he kind of raised his keister there, and everybody in white jerseys standing there pointing at him, so the official decides, hey, I better throw a flag here.
Speaking of the officials, tonight they are Dave Eberly, Scott Toleski, Tom Plaster, John Keister, and Bob Millward. Second and 15 for the Cats. 6:28 left here in period. River Ridge comfortably on top, looking for more. Snap back to Engel, gonna keep it. Busts the tackle, midfield, 45, 40, 35, 30. To the far side, Engel with one man to beat. And Brighton Engel goes in. 47 yards away.
And once again, the River Ridge spreads them out, does like a little quarterback draw, lets the defensive lineman get upfield, and they're basically creating running angles for him, running lanes for him to take off. And once again, he makes a nice cut about halfway to the goal and kicks her into an extra gear and punches it in.
Big score there for the Wildcats to go up 32-8. So we'll see what happens on the point after try here. River Ridge starting to pull away here, Hawk.
Be really cool to see like a drop kick or something, just so we can say we saw it all tonight.
2-point try coming here. Cats moving from right to left. Rhodes in motion. Engel keeper, and he spins in 4-2. Everything going right for the Cats.
Engel making some really good decisions with his feet here to start the second half off, and really they're starting to push this one into kneel down territory here as we're getting close to getting into that fourth quarter.
6:09 left in this one in the third period, 34-8 in favor of River Ridge over Kirkland Hiawatha. We are back in 30 seconds on WCCI.
Elizabeth Garage, located in the heart of Elizabeth, Illinois, is the place for sales, service, bodywork, and 24/7 towing. For Buick, GMC, and pre-owned vehicles, stop by today. If you need a tow, call 815-858-2230 and save it in your phone for emergencies. Check out their website, elizabethgarageinc.com, or look at their inventory and your own application right there. Elizabeth Garage, a part of the community since 1925.
This broadcast brought to you in part by JC Wi-Fi, TBK Bank, Johnson's Processing, Cordy Landscaping, Manny's Pizza, and Compeer Financial. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Back here at River Ridge, little squib kick that is taken by one of the upmen, where the Hawks will have it. Chris Korb fell on that one, and 1st and 10 Hiawatha, but Kirkland Hiawatha with their work cut out for him, trailing now 34-8.
Well, he picked up a couple extra yards there. As he was scooping it up, he kind of took a little hop to his right and ended up getting himself an extra yard on the return. Field things must be getting a little chippy out there, and so the official wants to keep everything under control and say, hey, boys, let's just play some clean football. No need for anything crazy to happen here.
Yeah, they kind of shook hands and said, "How are you?" And
once again, that's a new one for me. I've never seen a handshaking that. I've seen officials say, grab two guys and say, you better calm down or you're going to get tossed out of this game. Officials doing a nice job of keeping things under control here.
1st and 10 from the 40 for Hiawatha. Korb out of the gun. Brantley behind him. Hand off to Brantley. He gets a couple of yards. He kind of lost the handle on that, or he bobbled it, Austin Brantley, and I think that slowed him down, Hawk, as he kind of slowed up to make sure he had the football.
Yeah, it wasn't a real clean mesh between the quarterback and the running back, and he kind of stopped his feet a little bit there to make sure he had the ball. That's the last thing you want to do is turn it over again and give that ball back to the River Ridge offense.
Gruby and Solers combined on the stop. 2nd down and 7. Snap back to Korb. Has some time. Rainbows at left side looking out there for the receiver, and it's off the fingertips of Cole Brantley down around the 20-yard line. And a penalty marker down here.
Well, and that ball just a little bit short, but I think we're going to find out that the receiver might have got held a little bit when he came out of his break. So otherwise, that ball's right on the target, and that's going to end up being 6. So can get pass interference against River Ridge and move the ball downfield and give them a 1st down.
Well, it depends on how you look at that. If that prevents a long touchdown pass, I guess it's not the worst penalty in the world.
Right, and then, when there's not much time left in there, it's got to be a perfect pass. The coverage was good, obviously a little too good, about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, but you're right. Giving up a 15-yard penalty is better than giving up 6 quickly.
Snap back to Korb. He's going to be hit. Trevor Gruby hit him in the backfield. Whitmer there as well. And that was just a well-read play there by the linebacker, Trevor Gruby.
Yeah, and he held on just long enough until Whitmer and Solers got there to finish that play off. Clean it up, as you would say.
5 minutes left here in the 3rd period. 34-8 in favor of the Wildcats. Looking to improve to 3-0 on this young season, which is going to be at the midway point after tonight. Korb looks right side. Flares it out there, and it's off the fingertips of the intended receiver. Looking for Cole Brantley, incomplete down around the 40-yard line. 3rd down.
Yeah, and the Brantley boys, they are obviously the favorite target for this quarterback. It's Korb when he's rolling out, and that time he just puts it a little too far beyond the younger Brantley's reach.
3rd and 10 from the 41. 4:43 left here in the 3rd period. Dual receivers out wide right. The Brantleys lined up here. Back to pass Korb, being pressured, being hit, and he's going to just take the sack back at midfield.
Well, and they finally get to him, so that was our guy 50, Jacob Solers, who's been putting on a tremendous amount of pressure all night long, and Darren Winter's been back there pressuring the quarterback all night, and he hangs on to the ball a little bit too long and ends up taking the sack. But if there's 2 guys that deserve it, it's those 2 guys because they've been pressuring him all night long.
4th and 19 from midfield. 4:06 left here in the 3rd period. We will have a night off tomorrow night, and then Saturday afternoon, myself and Mark Macumber will be up at Freeport for EPC West Carroll. Snap back goes. Rolling out is Korb. His pass deflected. Was looking for Austin Brantley, and it falls incomplete, where it'll be 1st and 10 for River Ridge at midfield.
Well, and of course, that's who they're looking for to make a big play. And River Ridge did a nice job of having under and over coverage. So they had a cornerback underneath and a safety over the top, which is kind of tough to do when you only got 8 defenders. But they did a nice job of bracketing him in there. That would have taken a perfect throw to get him the ball on that toss.
So the Cats leading 34-8. They have possession. Whitmer wide left. Rhodes slot right side. Engel out of the gun. Snap back to Brighton Engel. He keeps it, and he follows his blocking for about 5 yards down to the 45, about 4.5 actually.
And that's just what the doctor ordered when you're trying to melt that clock and chew up yardage, getting 5 yards on first down.
3:23 left here in the third. 34-8 in favor of River Ridge. 14 unanswered here in the third quarter to break open what was a 20-8 game at halftime.
Two big run plays, putting those scores on the board, one from each guy.
Rhodes out of the Wildcat, takes the snap, follows his blocking left side, gains about 3 yards. Third down and 2 for the Cats.
Yep, and if you're the Wildcats, you're not in any big kind of hurry here. Got to get these 2 yards, keep that clock moving.
Jack Keating in there on the stop, along with Austin Brantley. 3rd and 2 from the 42 off the left hash. Sideline left side, open air to the right. Engel in the backfield there, directing traffic. Rhodes moves to the slot right side, now goes in motion. Handoff goes to Alex Flynn. Flynn got close to the marker and then kind of hesitated and got pushed back. It's going to be close.
Yeah, and there's that case that we talk about quite often about just lean forward, use your frame to pick up the yardage. And to me, it looks like they're going to be about 4 inches short here. And River Ridge is going to have a decision to make once they get done measuring this one. Maybe they're not going to measure. Look like they stopped the clock for some reason.
Looks like an injury timeout on the sideline on the opposite end there.
Yep.
The trainer went across the field.
Well, I thought they were going to bring the sticks out, but obviously they're saying nope. It's obviously a good 3 to 4 inches short.
140 and counting here in the third, 34-8 River Ridge. It's April 1st, and it feels like October as we're getting a little chillier out there.
Yeah, this might be one of those times when you're not in shotgun and get on up there behind the center and just quick snap that thing and pick up 4 inches.
Well, they are going to operate out of the gun. 1:15 and counting here in the third. Engel takes the snap, going to call his own number. And he is going to have the first down and more as he spun down at the 36-yard line. Gain of about 4.5. New set of downs, and the clock continues to move here as River Ridge.
That's what you call playing with somebody else's money. He had it if he leans forward, but he decided to take a little jump cut to the right, and he ended up back behind the sticks, but then found a nice little seam to get up the field. So not a do-or-die situation for him. Takes a little gamble.
River Ridge has the clock as their ally here. And what will likely be the final play of quarter number 3. 30 seconds and the clock moving here, 34-8 in favor of the Wildcats. Snap back to Engel. A little hesitation move right side, takes it inside the 30, dumped there at the 29-yard line. Gain of about 6, maybe 7.
Well, if you can run the table in this shortened season, do you put a banner up like some NCAA teams, that mythical national champs or state champs in this case?
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll talk about that when we come back here into the fourth quarter. 34-8. River Ridge leads Kirkland Hiawatha. We're back in 60 seconds on WCCI.
This is Tim Pauly, Vice President of Exchange State Bank. Every day, banks touch every corner of our lives. They support us as we turn life's goals into accomplishments. Goals like going to college, opening a small business, buying a home, planning a wedding, or having a baby. From your first car to a new life after retirement, Exchange State Bank is there for you for all your life's milestones. Stop in and see us today. We will make sure you receive service second to none. Exchange State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you meet someone, what do you notice first? Chances are it's their smile. Keep your teeth looking and feeling their best with a visit to the Stockton Dental Center. Be sure to brush at least twice a day. Floss once a day, eat healthy foods, and drink plenty of water. Dr. Stephen Petras and Dr. Caitlin Pilara at the Stockton Dental Center are dedicated to helping you maintain your teeth for a lifetime. Beautiful smile. Call the Stockton Dental Center at 815-947-3700 or check them out at stocktondental.com.
This broadcast brought to you in part by the State Bank of Pearl City, Dykstra Law Insurance, Miller Sports Center, Milo and Beavers, Mount Carroll Dairy Queen, and the Prairie Advocate. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Back here at River Ridge as we start the fourth quarter. I think there was a bad snap there. The ball was loose. It bounced around kind of like that greased pig at the county fair, and the Hawks have it 1st and 10.
Yep. Alert Kirkland Hiawatha player jumps on the ball, curls around her, and now they got first down. That's good news. The bad news is you got her at about your 29-yard line or so.
11:56 left in this one. 34-8 in favor of the Wildcats. I know down the road the Polo Marcos will pay a visit here. That's going to be one of those great matchups. We saw those two meet in the semifinals a couple of years ago in the 8-man.
Yeah, and then River Ridge, last year they hung with them in that first half pretty well, and just which was Polo's style. They are just a bigger, stronger team, and they just leaned on them, and that ended up being too punishing, and River Ridge couldn't stop them in the second half.
Austin Brantley took that pitch from Korb. He's hit right near the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd and 10. 11:20 left in this one. Out of the gun is Korb. Hands it off to Brantley. Brantley knocked down. The ball came loose, but it was long after Brantley was down.
Yeah, that ball popped out when Bradley took his second or third bounce over there on the sideline. And you got to give the River Ridge defense, got to take your hats off to them here so far. The whole third quarter, they've had Brantley under wraps and limiting what kind of space he gets when he gets the ball.
3rd and 10 from the 27. 10:40 left in this one. 34-8 River Ridge. Korb out of the gun. I think one thing you can say about Hiawatha is they're a good football team, but they're not really built for comebacks, as there's one in traffic, and it's going to be incomplete, broken up there by Rhodes. Oh. Well, yeah, that was Flynn actually that got in there and knocked it away from Brantley.
Yeah, I think Brantley turned into defensive back there because Flynn had the angle on that. Looked like he had it wrapped up, and Brantley stuck his hands in there and I think forced that ball out at the end of the play.
Going to stand back inside his 20-yard line. Looks like a punting situation. Caleb Rhodes will drop back and signal safety. Good kick. Angles it away from Rhodes. Goes out on the far side here, and they'll say it went out at the 45-yard line.
Well, and they continue the theme of the kicking game is we don't want anybody making any big plays, so if the ball goes out of bounds, nobody gets a chance to make a big play.
10 left in this one. 34-8 in favor of River Ridge. And the Cats with the football, so look for them to be methodical here. They know the clock is definitely in their favor.
Yeah, they broke ice.
Okay.
So a little confusion. I didn't know that was a high school deal, but I guess, you know, march them off. I think if you're Coach Nichols, the one thing you want to clean up from this game would be the penalties. But that's about the only thing. Everything else they've done really well tonight.
Yeah, another great defensive effort. They held the Hawks to 6 the last time. Engel puts it in the gut of the running back. Flynn then took it out, takes it ahead near midfield. So picks up quite a bit of yardage, about 8 yards on that carry.
Yeah, you're starting to get to the River Ridge. You might want to get some guys in there that are going to be playing next year. And that's going to be a tough position for them to fill next year is going to be quarterback. So it might be a good opportunity to get somebody some reps. Ingles had a great night. He's got 3 more games left, and he'll get plenty more opportunities. And here we're going with the Wildcat.
Yeah, last week in that win at North Fulton, they ran a lot of fresh soft players in the fourth quarter. As that's a snap back to Rhodes. Not much happening that time as they read it pretty well.
Yeah, and there is no substitute for game experience. Getting younger players out there, especially if you can, and you might sprinkle in a couple starters, especially if they're a junior, and get your crew out there that's going to be out there next year, and once again get them some game experience.
8:50 in contest, 34-8 in favor of the Wildcats. Yeah, it's one of those situations where you can't simulate what happens during a game. And you heard Coach Nicholas in the pregame as Engel keeps it, runs into traffic, breaks away from a couple of tacklers, and he's close to a first down near the 46. Gain of about 6, it'll be 4th and 1.
Here, do you punt her away? Work on your punting game? Do you try to pick up the first down and run this clock out? You're going to need another one after this one if you're going to try to run the whole clock out.
He was telling us that last week they were able to get a number of players in, and that is good. I mean, that you never know when you have to call upon those guys.
Well, and it helps build your program too. Getting guys some experience that aren't as talented as some of your starters, give them a chance to get out there in front of the home crowd, especially.
And Engel calls his own number on 4th and 1. He gets 4, and it's 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. 7:30 left in this one.
Well, and he's a slippery guy, and he doesn't take a lot of real head-on shots, but that time he took a pretty good shot from 2 guys coming straight at him.
Well, you're a longtime member of the coaching fraternity, and you know that it doesn't matter what the weather, there are those guys that always wear shorts, and seems to be pretty popular on the River Ridge sideline. Coach Nicholas, one of those guys that always is wearing those shorts.
Not me, man. I could never do that, especially if you got a team that gets into the playoffs on a regular basis.
Little sweep to Caleb Rhodes, penalty marker down as he picks up about 3 yards and is brought down there.
They were there on the edge on the left side and going to march the River Ridge offense back a little bit.
6:47 left here in this contest. Very impressive night here for the Wildcats, Hawk.
Yeah, they've done some things well. Once again, if you're on the coaching staff down there, the only thing that you're going to need to clean up or something that you're not going to be happy with is the amount of penalties that you've had tonight.
Yeah, you always have something to work on. I guess that's the one thing away here.
Yeah, just clean her up. But then again, you're going to talk about these holding calls, but you're also going to talk about some pretty good blocking downfield that sprung a couple of running backs and the quarterback for some big long gains.
6:15 left here in the contest as the play clock is kept on the field as Engel keeps it. Engel into the secondary. Engel with one man to beat, and he's tripped up finally around the 12-yard line.
who else but one of the Brantleys to bring him down, the younger this time. Brantley the younger making the tackle.
Yeah, that was one of those open field moves where Engel tried to juke him and go right and left, and Cole Brantley read that perfectly.
Yeah, just stayed with him, got his arms wrapped around his thighs, and Engel wasn't going anywhere from there.
1st and 10 from just outside the 10 after the 40-yard pickup by Brighton Engel. 34-8 Wildcats. Long count. Engel takes the snap, hands it to Caleb Rhodes, looking for another touchdown, and he's Rhodes in for what? 5?
I believe so. Between him and Engel, they've carried the lion's share. I'm gonna put him up around 250 so far unofficially. It's got to be close.
And a 5th score there as he rolls in from just outside of the 10-yard line.
And up until there's others that he had that weren't around 50 yards.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Close to a 50-yard average on touchdown runs.
40-8 in favor of the Cats. 5:12 left in this one. Engel around the left corner, and he's in for 2. 5 minutes, 12 seconds left in this one. River Ridge blowing it open, 42-8 over Kirkland, Hiawatha. We're back in 1 minute on your area sports leader.
Hi, this is Robbie Miner, investment advisor for Pearl Investment Services. I'm here today to tell you about the exciting new division of the State Bank of Pearl City and the Mount Carroll Banking Center, Pearl Investment Services. If you have a 401k at a previous employer or just looking to expand your retirement benefits, please contact me at the Mount Carroll Banking Center or at the State Bank of Pearl City. We want to be your partner in helping you reach your retirement goals.
Give Robbie a call in Pearl City at 815-443-2725 or at Mount Carroll at 815-244-8800. Pearl Investment Services is a division of the State Bank of Pearl City. Securities are not insured by the FDIC. Not a deposit or other obligation of or guaranteed by the depository institution. Subject to investment risk, including possible loss of the principal amount invested. Securities, insurance, and investment advisory services are offered through Midwestern Securities Trading Company, LLC, MSTC. Member FINRA, SIPC. MSTC and State Bank of Pearl City are not affiliated. This broadcast brought to you in part by the Milledgeville State Bank, Sand Prairie Wireless, Schuler Concrete, Sloan Implement, and the Savannah Thompson State Bank. The best in sports on 100.3 FM and WCCIRadio.com.
Back here at River Ridge, high arcing kick that Korb returns out to Chris Korb to the 39-yard line. And it's been all Cats here tonight. They're up 42-8 with 5:08 left in this one, Hawk.
Really impressed their will on this game, and the third quarter really came out and aided by an interception on the second possession of the half, but they did a nice job and shut them down on their Kirkland Hiawatha's first possession and really set the tone for the whole second half.
5:08 left here in this contest, 42-8 in favor of the Wildcats. We have the coaches show Saturday morning at 9. Doug Nicholas will be among our guests. Jacob Smith takes the handoff, bulldozes his way for a couple of yards over the right side out to about the 42-yard line.
2-3 yards right now isn't really what you want to be doing if you're Kirkland Hiawatha, unless, they're saying, this one's tucked away. We got a guy that's been working hard all year. We're going to give him some carries here and try to keep everybody injury-free the rest of the game.
Well, good thing tomorrow is a holiday and a day off from school because it's going to be a long trip back to DeKalb County there to Kirkland.
Yeah, in this 8-man league, though, man, they do a lot of traveling regardless.
Not much doing that time in the handoff to Brantley as he is hit in the backfield and dropped immediately.
Darren Winter in on the tackle again, and seems like he's been around the ball almost all night long. If he's not making the tackle, he's there making something happen.
Inside of 4 minutes for this one. The Cats with the lead, 42-8. Just a very impressive performance tonight for River Ridge. Third and 8 from the 41. Cole Brantley out wide left, and the slot is Austin Brantley. Snap back to Korb. Matt Korb has some time. Rainbows it down the middle. Oh, what a great adjustment. Brantley had it kind of bounce off his shoulder pads around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and boy, what a great pass. I mean, that was right on the numbers. And Brantley looked over his right shoulder first and then adjusted to the ball and looked over his left shoulder. Looks over that left shoulder first. It doesn't slow him down about a half a step. Ball ends up landing right in the old breadbasket.
So 4th and 8 for the Hawks. They'll go for it here with 3:21 left in the game. CSCI 100.3 FM in Savannah, Illinois, your area sports leader. Well, they're going to punt it away as Korb boots it right side, keeps it away from Rhodes. It goes out of bounds.
With that all night long and kicking her out of bounds, so they make sure there's not going to be any return. And River Ridge going to end up with this ball on the 41-yard line to start the next possession.
Well, and now you're getting ever so close to victory formation time.
Yeah, you got to pick up one first down, and you could probably kneel this one out.
The Hawks decide to punt it away, and the Wildcats have it. 1st and 10 as they're 3:14 away from win number 3.
Yeah, and with 14 players, you're only going to see a couple new jerseys out there at the end of the game, too.
That's right. Engel will be out of the gun here. Flynn split wide right. Snap back to Engel. Trevor Gruby takes the handoff. Oh, he breaks a tackle and gain of 7 out near the 48-yard line.
Carrying a couple guys there at the end of the play. Getting ever so close to that first down that's going to salt this one away.
2:49 and counting in the contest. 42-8.
And continue to shuffle new players into the game. River Ridge gets a new offensive lineman in the game.
And they'll work that play clock here. 2:25 and counting. Once they see it get to about 5, they'll snap the football. Snap back goes here. Gruby takes the handoff from Engel. Not much doing that time. Stacked up. Danny Fisher made that stop.
Getting back to the line of scrimmage there, and they're going to give him his forward momentum, so he's going to end up getting a yard in the old stat book on that one.
140 and counting here in the contest. It's going to be a late night for me. After I leave here, I'm going home to watch the White Sox. So
they playing on the West Coast, are they tonight?
Yeah, they're out at Anaheim. 3rd down and 4, 1:18 left here in the third, or in the game, I should say.
Once again, River Ridge waiting for this back judge to put his hand up in the air to indicate that there's 5 seconds left on the play clock before they're going to snap her off and chew up as much time as possible on each snap.
Here we go. 55 seconds left. Snap back goes to Engel. Hands to Gruby. Gruby going to be hit immediately and brought down for a loss.
Well, that's a tough row to hoe for Groovy there because everybody in white shirt knows that you're going to run the ball and you're probably going to be the guy getting the ball, and they're all kind of pinning their ears back and heading straight up the field right now. So River Ridge faced with the fourth down. And
that'll be the contest, won't it?
Yep. I think that back judge was adding a couple seconds to every play before he was given the 5-second call. I think he was trying to do both teams a little bit of a favor and get them out of here early.
Well, and don't you think it's a little chilly down there on the field in a game that's lopsided? You're like, hey.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Oh, no, good decision on his part.
42-8 as the Wildcats are 3-0 after this victory here tonight. Big plays all night. Touchdowns in the second half by Caleb Rhodes and a long run by Engel. And Rhodes finishes the night with 5 scores, 240 yards rushing. Very impressive win here for the Wildcats. They win 42-8, and I think the most impressive part of this win, the 8 points again, you know, another night where they kept the Hawks at bay.
Yeah, Kirkland, Hiawatha, we've been talking about him all night, had a real dynamic player in Brantley, and they did everything they could to get him in positive situations. And once again, tip your hat to the River Ridge defense for not allowing that to happen and not giving him to make big plays. And the play that just keeps replaying in my head is when they tried to throw the ball downfield and they had him bracketed with 2 defensive backs where it would have taken more than a perfect throw to just get it into him.
Well, I tell you what, the Wildcats with a very impressive win tonight. They now are 3-0. They beat Hiawatha twice, and the first time was a defensive battle. This time they put up 42 points and really kind of dominated from the get-go here.
Yeah, really started pressing themselves and pushing the issue in the beginning of the third quarter. Once again with the 3 and out, and then they had the pick, and then I think the first 3 possessions of the third quarter, they ended up scoring on all 3 of them, and they really put themselves in a position to salt that one away in the fourth quarter.
So they win here 42-8. They're 3-0 midway through this season, and looking pretty darn good. It's kind of too bad there's no postseason because I think these Cats would be primed for a nice run.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know the infamous saying, "It is what it is," and you got to make all the positive things you can out of it. And we've talked about it the last couple of weeks. And it's just nice to give the seniors a chance to play in at least 6 games, and instead of their whole season just being yes is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. They're playing. You really can't say anything more than that. You know, we didn't know a couple of months ago if this was going to happen, and it's happening, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, just once again, giving these kids a chance to play. I mean, got to have football in this area.
So your final here tonight, 42-8, River Ridge with the victory. Lots of thank yous to send out before we go. We want to say thanks to everyone here at River Ridge High School. We start at the top with way down Principal Mike Foltz, AD Sean Albright, and head football coach Doug Nicholas. Thanks to all of them for their cooperation and help.
Well, we would throw that out to Mike Dittmer too, but he didn't share his sandwiches with us tonight, so we can't do that with him. The guy up here running the cameras.
I've got a new name for him. He's Rune Arledge. He was up here running the broadcast, getting, you know, it's like that old Monday Night Football opening. Cut camera 7, you know, he was running things the whole night. And we want to thank the press box crew minus Brian Wooster. We never thank him. There's nothing to thank him for, but Jacob Green and Jeremy Knauer. It's always great to come up here to River Ridge. They're always very nice to us.
Great place to see a game too. It's great field, and as we mentioned a little bit earlier, the backdrop tonight's awesome. Till the sun went down, she started getting a little chilly.
Well, and here's the man of the hour, the guy who was up here in the press box earlier trying to fix a technical issue, and now he's here with us to talk football, and that's head football coach Doug Nicholas. Hawk, we're going to have you give up your headset here and bring in Coach Nicholas. Doug, you were very concerned heading into this one because you just played Hiawatha 2 weeks ago. You knew what they brought to the table. They win the toss, they defer, you score. That was a huge way to start the game.
Yeah, we knew we expected a physical game, and they are a physical team. We told Jason before the game, we're outsized almost every week that we play somebody, but we just have to match intensity, and we did, and we played well. We played pretty well.
I really thought your defense again was solid from start to finish. You gave up 8 points. That's really something to be pretty happy with.
Yeah, we joked around before the game that this is really the first game we've been able to scout a team. Our first two games, we didn't have any film on anybody because the games got thrown together late. So we actually got to see them on film from last week, and we had a pretty solid plan, we thought. We knew they had a lot of weapons, so I'm really happy the way our defense seems to fly around right now, and hopefully we keep that going.
Big night for Caleb Rhodes, lots of big plays, and that's one of the nice things about your offense is you can, break those big plays from time to time.
Right. He's a neat kid. He's a special kid. He's a special athlete. But we have other. We're able to use Brighton quite a bit. They started jumping the counter, and then we were able to break some plays when we got some open seams, and it is nice when we can have a home run at any time.
What's ahead then next week? Who's next on the agenda?
Right now, it was supposed to be Alden Hebron, and I think that game's in jeopardy, so we'll see, and whatever happens before next Friday, we'll be ready to play.
And if past history is any indication, you guys might get the word on Thursday morning that you have a game someplace on Friday night, and you'll go. You'll be ready to go, right?
Yeah, that's